What do you get when you take a waffle cone, add a scoop of vanilla ice cream, dip it in chocolate, and top it with crushed peanuts? You've got a drumstick. This sweet creation came from the minds of two candy-making brothers, I.C. and J.T. Parker, in 1928, and it's been part of Americana ever since. The Nestlé factory in California now produces over 500,000 every day, adding over 10 different flavors like blue raspberry, chocolate cookie, and banana split to the mix. So stay with us because we're heading inside to see how it's all put together. From the nutty dome to the chocolate-filled bottom, it's all just ahead on Made Vision. You'll find drumsticks just about everywhere these days. From ice cream trucks to ballparks and countless other spots, they've become a summertime favorite. The Parker brothers created them to replicate the vanilla-topped sugar cones once sold at county fairs back in the day. But their early versions melted too quickly, so they developed a hard chocolate shell and rolled them in crushed peanuts, so people could enjoy an ice cream cone anytime. Despite the original inspiration clearly being ice cream, today's drumsticks technically aren't ice cream at all. They're labeled as a frozen dairy dessert. According to the FDA, real ice cream must contain at least 10% milk fat, and drumsticks don't quite meet this mark. This is because after Nestlé acquired the company in 1991, the core ice cream ingredients were changed to dairy solids, with coconut, palm, and soybean oils, none of which were in the 1928 original formula. These dairy solids and oils were swapped in to circumvent the regulations and costs of using full dairy, while at the same time recreate that creaminess of real ice cream and improve its resistance to melting. For a closer look at all this, let's head inside Nestlé's drumstick factory in Bakersfield, California to see what really goes into the mix. The frozen dairy dessert mix starts in this blending room, inside these enormous stainless steel tanks called liquiverters. Swirling inside is the vegetable oil blend. These take the place of the milk fats, helping the product stay creamy and melt more slowly. Then a worker adds a dry stabilizer and emulsifiers from these large sacks, both helping to bind it together and prevent crystallization when it freezes. The dairy solids follow, like non-fat milk and whey powder. Because these solids have less than 10% milk fat, the final product won't meet the FDA requirement to technically be called ice cream. Then corn syrup and vanilla flavoring are poured in, rounding out the sweetness and flavor. Once it's all blended, the mixture flows through this piping network to the pasteurization area. This pasteurizer heats the mix to 172 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, eliminating any bacteria. The homogenizer then pushes the mix through tiny holes under 4,000 psi of pressure. This breaks down the fat molecules into smaller particles, leaving the mix smooth and creamy. Then it's over to the freezers. This machine chills the mixture down to roughly 22 degrees Fahrenheit over about 3 minutes. While it cools, air also gets whipped in, infusing tiny air pockets between the cream, water, and sugar molecules as it freezes, giving the frozen dairy dessert the consistency of soft serve. It stays here churning and chilling until the waffle cones are finished. So let's take a look at how those are made too. Now that we have the soft serve, we need something to hold it. Did you know the first ice cream cones were actually rolled waffles, and today's are updated versions of that original idea? Into this mixer goes flour, brown sugar, caramel coloring, secret ingredients, and ice-cold water to prevent the batter from sticking. Then vegetable oil gets added as all the ingredients blend together. The batter now flows from the mixer into this large vat, where an agitator maintains the consistency of pancake batter. Next, it's pumped over to these waffle irons that are aligned in a rolling chained conveyor. When the tops close, a gas flame heats the bottoms to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. About 1 minute later, the tops open, and a rotating arm slides them around to the cone shaper to make them handheld. As the waffles are slid around this metal shape, a spinning piston twists the waffle into a perfect cone. That's perfect for holding your drumstick. The machine also trims the tops to create a flat, even surface. And at full speed, it can crank out over 10,000 waffle cones per hour. After the cones are shaped and trimmed, they're placed onto lanes on this conveyor system and sent down the line. The cones are now loaded into a stacking machine where they're dropped one by one into individual slots on the moving conveyor. As the cones move down the line, a row of nozzles sprays the insides with a layer of oil-based liquid chocolate. Then a second set follows up with a quick shot filling the base, forming this signature chocolatey nugget at the bottom of each drumstick. Once it sets, the chocolate acts as a barrier sealing in the filling, so the cone stays firm and doesn't get soggy in your hand. Now the frozen dairy dessert flows from the chilling machines into this specially designed dispenser, filling over 200 cones per minute. Simultaneously, a plastic paddle gently taps the tops, creating that perfect ball shape and leaving behind a neat curlicue. They even have different varieties with filled centers. That's either caramel, fudge, or peanut butter. To achieve this, inside the dispenser, there's actually a second nozzle that injects the cores. While the outer nozzle fills the cone, this inner nozzle injects one of those three flavors. And for chocolate lovers, this flavor is called We Love Chocolate Cookie Dipped. It comes with a chocolate waffle cone stuffed with chocolate ice cream and a fudge-filled center. But this one skips the peanuts and gets dipped in a layer of chocolate cookie crumbs for extra decadence. What's your favorite drumstick flavor? Let everyone know in the comments. Immediately after filling, the cones proceed directly into this powerful blast freezer. In just 5 minutes, the temperature drops from 30 degrees Fahrenheit to a frigid -10. Because the faster you freeze ice cream, the better it's going to taste when you bite into it. With the cones now frozen solid, a robotic picker carefully grabs each cone and feeds them into this machine that flips them upside down, preparing them for dipping. Then, as the conveyor moves forward, a row of inverted cones is dipped into this warm, oil-based chocolate. Since the cones are still cold enough, the warm chocolate hardens instantly on contact, sealing the tops without melting the frozen filling inside. Right after that, an air nozzle blasts a burst of crushed peanuts upward, while the cones are lowered into it, giving each one an even nutty coating. The We Love chocolate cones follow the same steps, but instead of peanuts, they get coated with cookie crumbs for that chocolate-on-chocolate finish. The cones now head toward packaging, but not before one final step: quality and taste checks. Inspectors slice a few in half to examine the 3 different core fillings: caramel, fudge, and peanut butter. Then comes the best part of the job: the taste test. They sample the frozen dairy filling, peanut and chocolate coating, and of course, making sure the chocolate nugget at the bottom is just right. After passing their final checks, the drumsticks get individually wrapped and carefully boxed. They're moved to the warehouse for palletizing, then shipped out across the country as the perfect cool treat to beat the heat. Wherever they land, at freezers, ice cream trucks, or stadium stands, they're ready to bring a little chill to your day and a crunch to your cone. Who knew that 2 brothers trying to keep ice cream cones from melting would create a treat that's been cooling people down for nearly a century? Now that's what we call sweet success. Thanks for watching Made Vision. We'll see you next time.